I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go.
First, I just want to thank all of you for coming out here today. Really appreciate it. Just going to be talking about fatherhood, some things you love about it, some things that you're scared of, the type of father you want to be, or the type of father you don't want to be. And I hope to know if I want a little mini me running around, or if I'm going to be completely scared to have kids because of my guys. First, what's it like to be a dad?
Well, for me, man, I love it. I have a 15-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son, and we messed around and had a 2-year-old, so now my kids are, it's a wide range of ages there, but I just love watching them grow up, and I just, just love being a dad. It's excellent, it's awesome.
Wonderful thing for me, man. It changed my life.
Like me, I'm young. I just had a son. My son 1, so I can't go out every night like I want to, like I used to with my friends, They call me early morning, want to go somewhere. I got him on the side of me, so it definitely changed you, but I like it. I ain't gonna say that, I love being a dad actually. I love my son, so.
And not to get too descriptive, but when you in there and your child is being born, like the bed was right here. I was on the other side of there. Dude, you have a newfound respect for women.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
Wait, I was in the back like,
Absolutely.
and when she was born, all I wanted to know is she had these and knees. Okay, she good, I'm good.
Bro, just the fact that she carried the baby for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I saw my wife just carrying our baby, just pregnant with our baby, I'm like, man, you can't take that for granted, man. That's it. Like, just the fact that they actually carry a baby for you, that's an honor.
Yes.
It's an honor, bro.
What would you say is your biggest fear as a dad?
Failing.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
What does that look like, though? That your child don't respect you. The child doesn't look up to you. I'm a situation, I didn't have any natural kids, I have step kids. And I came into the situation like, well, one of their fathers aren't there, so it almost made me want to be extra. I didn't want to fail that my son, he's 15, he needed me. And I don't want him to ever look at me and be like, oh, I can't depend on him.
Right.
With my daughters, I tell them, I don't care what happens, you can call me. And if they don't have that confidence in me, I'm a failure. And I never want to be that failure.
That's the biggest fear for me, is missing my child's call when they really need me. If they were to ever be in trouble, be in that car accident, or somebody's trying to hurt them or anything, and for some reason I missed that call, maybe I'm at work or just missed the call. That's probably my biggest fear. I would never want to fail my child. When they call, I'm gonna be on the first thing smoking.
And then I think I would feel like failing my kids. Like I said, my daughter's 15, she goes to college in 3 years or whatnot. I would feel like almost a failure if she don't want to call me sometimes. Like, because I want to have that rapport with her. I want to have that relationship where she goes off to college, man, and she just get on the phone and just call her dad, man. And like, if she don't want to do that, that's gonna make me feel like, man, where did I mess up?
We'll probably get more into that a little later. I got older kids. She's probably not gonna call you. They change. you go from watching Dora Explorer all night to 12, 13, 14. Oh, Dad, can I get that little change and I'm gone?
But she knows she can call you though.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if my daughter would feel like she can't call me though,
But what I'm talking about is we in love with our kids.
Right.
And we used to that quality time. And when you want to go to college with her, what you doing? What y'all? She like, nah, Dad, this ain't your business no more. And it hurts.
Yes, yes. I can imagine. I can imagine.
I got one in college now. And I be looking for her call sometime, and Dad, I'm gonna hit them lectures right now. It used to be building time.
Yeah, that's real.
You get that, you gotta learn when to step back. And, one of the fears of mine is, my father wasn't ever around. One of them calls of the fears. It's just not being there. you know, like he wasn't. So I always keep the phone open or whatever, but no, I just don't want them to feel that they can't reach out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I say being around for my son, 'cause like how he said, like I was one when my dad passed, so I just want to be around to have that experience, take care of my son, 'cause you know, I mean, you know, mom had a boyfriend that was cool, but you don't want with your real dad, you don't want to know like, you know, how my life. That's what I think about, like how my life would have been with my real dad. So, you know, I just want to be around for my son. I don't want to be nowhere else. Definitely want to be around.
What would you say is your favorite thing about being a dad?
My favorite, just having somebody that kind of mirrors me, that looks like me. You know, you kind of pick up their habits and the way they say things, and you kind of see yourself in them. That's kind of my favorite, my little favorite thing. You know, just seeing a bit of yourself in your children.
Like a mini version of you.
Absolutely,
Yeah, I can say the same thing. It's like seeing yourself all over again.
all over
The
again.
good parts, the bad, when I was hard-headed, you know, when I listened. You know, then I wonder what my mother went through, raising me by herself. And you know how they always say it's gonna come back on you.
Yep.
What you did, and you actually see it. Like I got a son, he's 15 now, and oh my God, he sends me through it, but then I understand now. He's a good kid though, but you see the goodness in him, so that's the favorite part. Just watching it all come over.
Man, my favorite part is just being with them too, though. You know, just being with them, just the time, man. Like on a Friday night, man, I get out of work, I want to come home, might stop and grab some popcorn, man. Bring that popcorn home. We sit there and watch a movie, kids and my wife, man, and that's just the best part of it to me. Just being with them, going different places with them.
My favorite part is just knowing somebody love me unconditionally. I know my kids do. I know my kids love me unconditionally, and I can piggyback off what y'all saying is just being there. You know what I'm saying? Not missing a moment. I hate missing any type of moment. You know what I'm saying? That my kids doing some type of event or whatever. I don't like missing it. So if I can be there all the time, I'm going to be there. That's what I just say.
Go ahead.
Being a parent or being a father, you're gonna go through stages. So one of the things I love is seeing my kids progress in life. You know, kindergarten, first grade, junior high school, and you like, I was on your butt all this time. Now you listen. Now you got all these. Okay, now they in the high school. They got all these scholarships. But like, man, you listen. It's working out for us. So seeing them progress, that's what I love. So it's not one favorite thing, cause I'm gonna be a father till you die. I don't want to say that, but I love seeing them progress, and you putting in that work, and like, yeah, it's paying off.
I got a moment that when my daughter was in the 9th grade, and we sent her to Sasson, and she had some cousins that went to Saginaw High, and she wanted to go to Saginaw High so bad. And I told her no. You know what I'm saying? You don't play sports. You're not playing volleyball. You're not playing basketball. What do you want to go to Saginaw High for? And she really didn't have an answer. I guess she just wanted to be with her cousins or whatever. But I mean, I stuck with it. I mean, me and her moms even had kind of words about it, because I guess she was trying to favor with my daughter about going to Saginaw High. But I was like, no, you're not going there. We're gonna stay here and we're gonna work it out. Sasson, she said, was hard. But now she's an honor roll student. She's in the National Honor Society at Sasson. She'll be a senior next year. And she just told me like a few months ago, Dad, I'm glad you didn't let me go to Saginaw High. I like why you said that, because I probably want to be where I'm at now. So that made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? When she said that to me, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad you really see it now. You know what I'm saying? You see what I was talking about. You understand how, you know what I'm saying, how I felt and what I meant about, you know what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to do that right now. We need to be over here and really, like, focus on academics. Not saying, I'm not talking about my school, Saginaw High, because I'm black and gold.
Those moments can be hard though, man.
I love black and gold, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't let her do it at that time, man. And it all worked out for the better, because she told me she glad I didn't let her go. So
I feel like those moments can be hard though, bro. Like, cause you wanna make your kids happy. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta do what's best for them as a parent, man.
Exactly.
And, you know, so yeah, that's cool.
It's hard. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't see
Exactly, bro.
what you're trying to do for them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're trying to create space and opportunity for them to excel.
Yep.
And they just want to be with their friends.
They just want what they want in the moment,
They just
right?
want- yeah, they just
Yeah.
living in the moment.
Yeah.
As a father, sometimes your job is to set the course.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
That's the beautiful thing about that type of moment, that you can kind of paint a picture for them. Like, I think that's another one of the favorite things for me, is being able to paint a picture for my child and not just say, you're gonna do what I say do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But actually show you why this is the best way.
Yeah.
Like everything y'all saying is favorite moments. Then just that last thing, just seeing them smile.
Yeah.
I mean, from they make an accomplishment, you're proud of them, and they smile because of that. Or something stupid, like you'd have made a dumb dad joke. They don't want to laugh, but they laugh. Small things like that mean a lot to them.
Right. Try to lead by example when it comes to my son, like respecting women, and then my daughter just respecting herself. You know what I mean, and respecting elders, like you were talking about, bro. Yeah, all that stuff is just, that's the biggest one for me, I think.
I can agree with that also. One of the hardest decisions that I think I want to teach them is knowing all family, how to make that hard choice, who to go with and what not to go with. Like making, like myself, I made some bad decisions because of family. You know, so it's the how to divide that line. Like I love you, but that ain't for me. You know, and someone could get caught up. You know, they grow up around each other and they've been playing so long, but he get off into something and they feel obligated. And they can be a life-changing moment. So I think that's very important to have that on mind and that discernment to know that that's not for me. I want to be a man on my own. And you know, I'm not afraid of what my cousins still may think of me.
Right. Right.
So,
That is a loaded question, like he was saying, and they done already spoke on the respect factor. That is a big thing.
Yes.
But I think one of the biggest things for me is being about business at all levels. And they don't understand when you're teaching them, clean your room up, do this, do that, be punctual. So when they get a little older, okay, you want to go someplace. What time does it start? A lot of times kids will tell you 5 minutes before it's time to go, and you're upset. Not that you don't have time to take them, but you're trying to set them up for the bigger picture. Let's say you got college applications you got to fill out, and they have a deadline. Well, you could lose yourself thousands of dollars because you don't fill these applications out at a certain time. So when I was telling you to clean your room up, or if you want to go someplace at a certain time, you need to tell me at X amount of time. I wasn't setting you up necessarily for that right there. I'm setting you up for the bigger picture in life. So I just want my kids to be about business, man.
If you on time, you late.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And he touched on one, that the respect, learning stuff that our parents didn't teach us.
That's a big one for you.
And with the business, financial things, credit,
Wow. Yeah.
that's huge right now. Our parents didn't teach us that because most of us are at an age, our parents weren't verbal with everything. It was all kept in secrets, but we can't do that to our kids. Families don't like to talk about stuff like this, but insurance, life insurance when you get older, you have to teach these kids these things now so they're already prepared for them when they get an adult.
Bro, just piggybacking off that though, I feel like these days, the stuff like my mom used to say to me, like just do it because I said so, I feel like that type of stuff don't work as good no more, man. It just don't, it seems like the kids today, maybe it's because it's just too much information at their hands, man, that they can just go get it in a moment's notice. They can find out whatever you're not telling them. But just saying do it because I said so, or this is just the way it just don't work, it seems like to me. I don't know if y'all agree or not, but it seems like you gotta, if you say don't do this, you gonna have to answer why. You're gonna have to get some kind of reason. Why is this not good for me? Why does this not work? Why is this not a wise decision? Like, they want to know that stuff, bro.
One thing I just want to say is, like what he was saying, like about the dream shit and stuff, like just watch who you be around, you know, like I done had friends, like I got plenty of friends that grew up with me, all the same neighborhood, ride bikes together, half of them locked up, you know, some of them gone. Like, just watch who you be around. And then you've had some friends who want to do something that you know, ain't for you. Like, you don't gotta do it just because there's 5 people in the car they want you to go. You know, yeah, no, I'm straight. You don't gotta do all that. That's one thing I was big on. Like, I ain't never been a follower type. Like, I do my own thing. Like, if you want to come with me, we go. Like me, I'm in the car. You want to come with me and we go to this car meet, whatever. That's cool. I ain't finna go over there on the block with them because they doing that. And no, I never been that. Just watching you be around. I say, that's what I will teach my son when he growing up. Just watch who you be around. Pick the right friends.
Right. All right. So as fathers, do you think it's important to pass down certain things that you learned from your father or that you wish you would have learned while growing up?
Yes. It's extremely important. Me and my father, we had different views growing up. He was on that, go to work. This is what you do, boom, boom, boom. Didn't like me playing sports and things you learn good and bad from parenting. One of the biggest things I learned from my father, and to this day, time. He never had time. It was all about money. It was all about going to work. Work. Time. I don't care if my kids curling. I'm gonna be there. You can't get that back. I can make money. You can't get that time back. And that's one of the biggest things I learned from my father. I'm a hard worker, and I learned that from him, but the biggest thing I learned, I'm not gonna neglect my kids that time.
My experience is a little bit different because I didn't have my dad. So that's another different thing for me in fatherhood is that I'm kind of learning along the way, and that's another fun part for me. So that's the biggest thing for me, man. I didn't have a father, so I had to pick up fatherhood traits in the neighborhood from my friends' fathers and my uncles and different things like that. So it's kind of different from a lot of different people. And I know it's a lot of us out there that didn't have a dad, so you kind of had to wing it. So for me, yeah, go ahead.
Tying into that, what my experience with my father, just because he's there, don't mean he's there.
I got you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom raised me, and I had a father at the crib. So yeah.
Yeah, spending time, once you get older and you gotta go to work, you wanna spend some time with the wife, wanna kick it with your boys a little bit, you kinda feel like, well, I'm paying all the bills, you ain't hurting for nothing, so just leave me alone. When I come home, I wanna go to sleep. But that's when your kids go to dipping off in the things that they ain't supposed to. I'm a nosy dad, and I'm gonna let you know I'm nosy. I'm watching everything because I know things that I did when I was younger. And I'm thinking it's innocent. Yeah, I'm just going around the corner, we playing basketball. Dave P, we gambling like a mug. We having crap games. So when my kids telling me stuff like, well, I'm just going to the party over such and such house. Well, if I don't know such and such mother, this one when I was a little young one, if I don't know such and such mother, I need to meet such and such mother and make sure such and such mother know everything going on that you saying is going on. Mm-hmm. So, I'm nosy, man.
What do you guys think about this generation's dads?
Man, that's a good question. That's a great question. I think
as what compared to the old
man.
What do you like this generation compared to your dads?
I think this generation dads is way more involved. Like we had some people say that their dads wasn't there. Or maybe your dad was there, but he wasn't there. But I think the dads of the generation nowadays, they are there because of what they went through. And they don't want their kids to feel how they felt when they was coming up. So they're making to make sure they're there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest thing about the dads of today.
I mean, I'm 40, man, but I get inspired by the 25-year-old dads, like he said, because a lot of these younger dads, they in it to win it, man. They taking their kids everywhere with them. So like you said, way more involved, spending time with their kids, teaching them stuff. You know, whether it's yard work, all that type of stuff, man. They really hands-on. So I love this generation's fathers. I really do.
There was just way too many back in the day. The dads wasn't there.
They wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he said, they was working.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like you say, yeah.
They were working.
Yes.
Because even my dad worked second shift, so I barely seen him.
Do you think it's harder to raise boys or girls?
That's touchy. That's touchy.
I think boys. It's so many things that we got into that my girls I didn't have to worry about. I mean, I'm a gun owner.
For good reason.
For a good reason. But when I was growing up, I knew what my dad's pistol was, and thank God it never got to that situation. But I snuck off with it a few times, you know. And they know I was a good guy in the neighborhood. But with the girls, you know, you ain't worried about razor blade or something like that. But you ain't got to take no pistol to the high and heel game, you know, if you a girl. So I think it's a little harder for boys.
It's rough, man. That's a rough call.
It is.
I worry about my daughters more than I do about my sons, though, because like the generation of I just said that the little boys these days, like they get caught off in the social media and you know how they live singing, rapping dudes is now, and they get caught off in that stuff. So it's and you know I coach basketball, so I be around all the youth. And a lot of them at a young age are very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? They mouth is reckless. They talking bad. They doing all type of different. The characters are not good. You know what I'm saying? So and I pray for my daughters, man. I hope they don't get involved in. You know what I'm saying? No.
That's why you gotta be a nosy dad.
I mean, I'm a nosy dad, but still, man. You know, they always, but they say girls are slicker than boys, so
yeah.
You can be nosy as you want to be, but them girls are slick, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess they say boys a little too retarded, a little too. They get caught real quick. Girls, man.
Yeah, we just didn't care.
Man, I'm gonna say, didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you didn't care. Man,
I have both, and that's difficult. I mean, it's stuff I worry about my son, about being a man, but then on the same token, it's stuff I worry about my daughter, about maybe them boys, like you said, them reckless boys, or some of our people that were like our younger friends when we were young.
Like he said,
I just think as a father, bro, and I don't even know how this. I know this ain't gonna sound good, bro, but I'm just gonna say it, man. Because I think as a father with daughters, right, and that's why I would say a daughter is harder for me. And plus, my daughter is the oldest child that I have. But anyway, there's this tendency as a father, man, that you want a good girl, and so you almost put more pressure on your daughter than your son to be quote unquote good, because you don't want her to have a certain kind of reputation or whatnot, right? And so I feel like, man, marriage and parenting, those are two things you would never have just a hold on completely. If you ever feel like you know how to do those two things perfectly, you probably failing at it, because you should always be learning how to parent and how to be married for a long time. But so that's why I'm like, with my son, man, don't think like, I'm telling my daughter right now, you know, don't be loose, you know. I'm not saying it exactly like that, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm trying to teach her to respect herself, not just give herself to anybody, whatever. But I'm telling my son as he coming up, don't think I'm gonna be chummy with you, like, because you get a girl, you know, and you 13, you have sex with a girl or whatnot, I'm finna be high-fiving you. No, bro, you got the same stuff I was saying to your sister, I'm saying to you. I want you to respect yourself and respect women as well, man. So it's just this delicate parenting thing as a father, man. It's tough to me, but I would definitely say for that reason, daughter is tougher for me.
But at the same token, you say you're not gonna be chummy with him. But at the same token, if your daughter get a boyfriend, you're not gonna be happy. But if your son get a girlfriend, you're gonna be like,
And that's the thing, we gotta change it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like there's this imbalance there, bro, where we can't be like that though. I feel like that's just not good, bro.
It's just a
not
different
good.
type of reputation that they give boys
Yes.
and girls for that.
And you
stuff.
can't change that though. It's like society, man. But
Alright, so do you ever find yourself telling your child to handle a situation the way that you would do it, even though it's not the right way to do it? Like, for example, I remember my dad telling me, I was in elementary school, said if someone hits you, hit them back. And maybe the right way to go about that would be to tell the teacher or something like that. But you know, that's how I grew up thinking that way. If someone hits me, I gotta hit them back, which only got me in more trouble every time.
Well, I taught and we all talked about it, respect. So if you going to school and you're not bothering nobody, you're not supposed to let nobody just beat you down to the ground. But I'm not gonna tell my kids to go upside somebody's head and do this, tomorrow you better do this. That's kind of how my grandparents were. My males in my household were. Like, I was walking home from school one day, I got in a fight with a dude. My granddaddy stood on the fence and was like, whooping. I'm like, man, granddaddy, don't break this up, this dude big. Man, I was almost home, but you gotta teach his kids respect. But growing up, you're gonna be in a lot of different situations. You gotta try to teach your kids to handle the situations with respect, I just say.
and you gonna make some mistakes as a parent. You gonna make some mistakes, and you have to be willing to, when you make some mistakes, be willing to come to your child and be like, hey, I messed up with that one. That was a bad call, man. I'm sorry about that. Like, you can't be too big to apologize to your kids.
Yes.
But to answer your question, yes, I have definitely told my kids to handle some stuff wrong just because I was told them.
I mean, we all have.
We all have it.
That's all we
Absolutely, bro.
That's how we was raised.
Yeah, it's something to that though. You know, it depends on the kid too. Like my son was real mild mannered. You know what I mean? So you don't want your kid to be bullied, man. And that's kind of a lesson you want them to learn. Like, stand up for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So is there a balance in that? I guess. You know, is it necessarily wrong to say, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you go on and hit him back a couple times, he ain't gonna keep bothering you.
Yeah, if there's a brick over there on the ground,
Yeah,
pick that brick
so,
up.
go for it.
and you're right. You know what I mean? And you know, in just a moment of honesty, I had that same thing as a kid. Very mild mannered. I ain't bother nobody. And you know, in 6th grade, I had a boy that was bullying me for like a couple weeks, and I told my mom, and my mom said, "Hey, you know what I mean? If you like them whoopings, keep on letting it happen." But, you know what I mean? You'll get tired of it. This is exactly what she said. And, you know, that was a lesson that I eventually learned. I got tired of it, and I seen her back. And I went there, and I told her, and she was like, see, I told you. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, was that necessarily the right thing for her to do? I guess technically, maybe not. But I learned that lesson. And I wouldn't have learned it no other way by just going to tell, hey, you know, Miss So-and-so, he's bothering me. I wouldn't have learned that lesson. So.
Yeah, I mean, what I always tell him, I used to tell him a lot when he was younger, just, cause like you said, he's mild-mannered. He's not the rah-rah kid in the middle of the mix. So I've always stressed to him, I don't want him starting fights and picking on people, but at the same time, defend yourself, you know? And I always taught him about personal space, you know what I mean? Like, if you really, really feel threatened by somebody, then you have to do what you gotta do. Right. I've always said, don't start the fight, but also don't get to the point where you boxed in and you don't have an out or a win. You know what I mean? Like, don't let it get to the point where you can't get out the situation and now somebody can really do harm to you. Right. But at the same time, make sure they respect your space. You know, don't let nobody walk up on you and all that. But it's hard to tell them, you know, blow their mouth out if it get too far. But
Right.
like you said, it's a balance. And it's about like not telling them. You know, I gave them kind of a list, like, okay, the first time something like that, they bullying you, go to the teacher. You know, let that be known that it's an issue going on. Therefore, if it does escalate and it happens, you got a sort of a trail to say, look, it wasn't me, this person kept picking on me.
Right.
And I also stress them if it go down, it ain't really necessarily about winning and losing. You know, it's about what we started with, respect. Like you said, you pick up a bat, or just even if you just hit the kid, you might lose a fight. But at least that kid know that
He got a fight coming.
he got a fight every time. Most of the time, he gonna go back. He gonna
Right.
find somebody who ain't.
The only reason why he
back.
kept doing it is because he didn't think he had a fight coming for the most
So
part.
I'm always telling him, like, it ain't necessarily about winning. It's just about letting them know, like, yeah, I'm here, and I'll be here tomorrow.
So do you guys think you were prepared to be dads?
I don't think so.
I was 18.
Definitely not, bro.
No.
Definitely not. But like we were talking about earlier, though, man. Somebody says the word natural, and you know, when my kid came into the world, it did feel pretty natural to just jump in and change diapers and hold her and all that stuff. So I think maybe we're prepared and we don't even know we are. Maybe perhaps it's from God or something like that. But yeah, you know, I don't think I felt prepared though.
Yeah,
But you get in there and you get busy with it.
I don't think you ever can be totally prepared for it. I think I was as prepared as I could be because I was 30 when I became a parent. So I think I experienced some life. You know, I've been through some things. I got some things out of my system.
Right.
You know, I wasn't, you know, in clubs by then. You know, I'd done that all through my 20s. So I was kind of ready for parenthood because I was ready for marriage too. So, you know.
I would say I wasn't, because I didn't do it the ideal way I wanted to do it, like get married and have it. I just had children. So it kind of have changed my life because I was running out there and I had to get prepared even if I wasn't. You know, you had to make a choice. I'm not gonna say that it changed me all the way, but it made me look at life a whole lot different. So I would encourage people, you know, take their time, don't do it as I did it, but like you say, it's natural. You know, I believe with my father not being there made me want to at least be there. I might not know how all the time, but I probably was a father that was around but didn't know how to talk all the time. Thought just because I taught you this and I said do this, that was being a dad. It's not all to it. So it's rough knowing if we prepared or not. It's just learning how to adapt along the way. And as Nate said, it's learning. And he said, you know, learning how to admit your wrongs with it and grow together. So.
And I definitely think, man, just that's one of them things you do want to do on purpose. Like, and definitely not to knock you another day, but I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna be prepared anyway. So, like we were talking about earlier, do it on purpose. I think having a kid is one of them things you want to try to do on purpose with your wife if you can. You know what I mean? With somebody that you committed to, and you guys have a life together. I think it's it'll help you be prepared.
And this one of them learning points, like he say, that's how you're supposed to do it. I wasn't ready to be no dad. I was ready to break up with my baby mama. She sprung it on me. And I was out here living. I was trying to get $1 million, Jay. I wasn't thinking about no kids. But when she came, like we said in the beginning, it changed me. I was so happy, but no.
Okay, so are there certain things that have been passed down in your family? Like, well, for example, my grandpa, he likes to grill a lot. He likes to smoke, you know, brisket and pulled pork and stuff like that. He's really good with that. He taught my dad taught me. If I have a son, you know, I'm definitely gonna teach it to him. This is just something special that our family has. So I was wondering if, you know, if that has been passed down throughout your family and if you plan to keep it going.
I have a really close family. My aunts, my uncles, we always got together. Family reunions, birthdays, and one good thing about that, when I say stuff about community. If I messed up, I had to get a phone call from all of these people that I'm telling you about. So I didn't just mess up in my house. I messed up within the family. But yeah, that's what we passed down. Getting together, celebrating people while they're here, giving them their roses while they're here.
Question, my last question I really have for y'all is, how do you know if you're doing it right?
Now, that's something I feel like you're gonna learn later.
How do you know if you're doing a good job?
I think
doing
you
the right
know
thing?
because your kids tell you. And if you create an atmosphere where your kids can talk to you, they'll tell you. They'll tell you. You know, they feel like maybe you disappointed them in this way, or you know, maybe they wished you were there for this event or that event. If you create an atmosphere for your children to actually talk to you, I think you get direct feedback. I think you get it right then.
I feel like, man, you got to put your head down, so to speak, when it comes to your parenting, and just try to give it all you got. Like, the main thing with parenting for me is being committed. I know I'm not leaving my kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, even if something happened with my wife, I know I'm not leaving my kids. I'm gonna always be in their life. I'm gonna always be trying to give it 100% with them. And so, you know, I just feel like it's one of them things where you just gotta keep on grinding, man. Just keep giving it all you got. And at some point, yeah, sometimes they probably will tell you, but if they don't, I think at some point maybe you'll find out down the road that you were doing it right. You may not see it in the moment, because a lot of times your kids don't even want to give you that satisfaction to let you know. But you will eventually find out whether or not you did it right.
Well, I just want to thank you all for coming out here again. This was really amazing. I was really excited. And, well, happy Father's Day to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great job.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go.